Greeting of the day. I, Dr. Kirti Sahu, welcome you all to this video lecture on ordinary differential equation. In this video, we shall cover the general method to find the particular integral of higher order ordinary differential equation with constant coefficients. So let's see what is the requirement of general method. So we have seen if that f of x is a special kind of function, right? That is e raised to power ax or sin ax or cos ax or x raised to m or product of the form e raised to power ax into v or x into v or x raised to m into v. Then we have the 6 different cases. But if suppose f of x is any function of x which does not fits under this requirement, then what to do? So for that we have the general method which is applicable if f of x is any function of x. So what we do in this method? So first of all we will resolve, means factorize f of d into a linear factors of the form d minus m. That is, say f of d is equal to the product of linear factors, that is d minus m1, d minus m2 up to d minus mn. Then as per definition we have particular integral as 1 upon f of d get replaced by these product of linear factors operating on f of x. Now there are two ways to apply these linear factors on f of x. The first way is separating each linear factors, that is d minus m1, d minus m2, d minus mn, using partial fraction and then operating each of them on f of x by using the formula 1 upon d minus m operating on f of x is equal to e raised to mx integration of e raised to power minus mx into f of x dx. So this is one way. What is another way? Another way is without separating the linear factors, we have to apply the formula number a on function f of x 1 by 1. So these are the two different ways of simplifying this particular integral. So here in this method we need to remember some set of formulae. So what are the formulae? 1 upon d minus m f of x is equal to e raised to mx integration of e raised to power minus mx into f of x dx. Similarly, if we have the factors of the form, say d plus m, so m will get replaced by minus m in the above set of formulae. So we have the formula number b. So these two formulae is to be remembered. Note that the general method is to be used particularly when f of x is sec ax, cosec ax, tan ax or cot ax, or any other functions which are not covered by the 6 special cases, that is from case number 1 to 6. So for such type of examples, I will suggest you to apply the general method. So let's see how to solve the example using general method. So we shall cover both the ways, that is separation of linear factors using partial fractions as well as evaluation without separating the linear factors. So let's see how to do this. So you can see here the right hand side function is not a function fulfilling the requirement of case number 1 to 6. So obviously we have to apply the general method. So let's quickly first find out the complementary function. So we have complementary function in this way. Now you can see that particular integral is given by 1 upon d square plus 3d plus 2 operating on e raised to x as per definition. Now what we do as per the requirement of general method, we need to factorize this factors, this f of d, function of d, right, into a linear factors. So if you can factorize this directly, then you can write it. Otherwise the easiest way is to make use of this factors of the auxiliary equation, right? Roots of the auxiliary equation. Now what are the roots of the auxiliary equation? You can see here we have obtained m is equal to -2 and m equal to -1. So these two are called as roots. So what will be the factors of this? So the factors of this will be, though I have written above, so still I will write here. So what will be the factors of this? So what we will do, we will write m minus the first value of m. What is that? -2, right? So this will be my first factor. Then second factor will be m minus of the next value of m, that is -1, right? So this will be second factor equal to 0. So what I am getting here, m plus 2 into m plus 1 equal to 0, right? These are called factors. Now here the factors are required in terms of d. So recall, while obtaining the auxiliary equation, what we have done, we have replaced d by m. So replace back m by d. So what it becomes? So this becomes d plus 2 into d plus 1 equal to 0. So therefore the factors of d square plus 3d plus 2 is d plus 2 into d plus 1, operating on e raised to power e raised to x. So in this way easily one can factorize this expression in d. Now what we will do, now here I will not separate these linear factors. We will see how to simplify this by operating each linear factor one by one. That is the case number or method 2 I am applying here, right? So what I'll do, you can apply any one of the linear factors on e raised to x. So let's say I am applying 1 upon d plus 1 over here, right? So applying this, so I have put this in the bracket, right, so that it's an indication that this is going to be operated. Now operating this means just making use of the formula 1 upon d minus m or d plus m. So here it is in the form d plus m. So just identify m. Okay, so what it is, the value of m is here 2. M is nothing but say 1, right, as we are operating d plus 1. So the value of m is what? 2, 1, right? So apply, write this formula and put m is equal to 1. So what we have, e raised to power minus 1 times x. So e raised to power minus x, integration of e raised to power m is 1, x, operating on right hand side function. What it is, e raised to power e raised to x. Now the question is how to simplify this integral. So you can see here we can make use of substitution, that is e raised to x is equal to t. So differentiating this, what we get, e raised to x dx is equal to dt. So see here, this substitution is meant only for evaluating the integral. So it is to be used for this integral only, not everywhere. So it gives us all remaining terms as it is, 1 upon d plus 2, then e raised to power minus x as it is, integration of. Now e raised to x dx is nothing but dt. So dt, e raised to, again e raised to x is t. So what we have, e raised to t. So it's simply the integration of e power t with respect to t. So its integration is e power t. Now integration is done, so replace the value of t. That is what, e raised to x. So now you can observe here, for the operator d plus 1, 1 upon d plus 2, the function, resultant function is e raised to power minus x into e raised to x. So it should be applied completely on this function. Okay, so let's apply, again make use of the formula. What is the formula? 1 upon d plus m with m is equal to 2. So what it will be, e raised to power minus mx, e raised to power minus 2x, integration of e power 2x, and then this function, whatever function on which it is operating, that should be written here. So it is e raised to power minus x, e raised to power e raised to x. Now here you can see, you can apply the law of indices to simplify it further. So e raised to 2x into e raised to power minus x. So their index will get added. So 2x plus of minus x. So it is 2x minus x. 2x minus x is x. So what we have next? So we have all other terms as it is, and the terms get simplified to e raised to x. Now again our task is to simplify this integral. So on a similar line, let's take e raised to x as a substitution. To avoid the confusion, let's take the variable u, now differentiating this and simplifying on the same line. So it will be just an integration of e raised to power u, which is nothing but e raised to u. The integration is over, so replace the value of u, which is e raised to x. So in this way, we get particular integral. So I hope the method is clear to you all. It's very easy to understand. Only thing is you should know the integration, right, for a general method. If you are master in the integration, then you will find this general method very easy to apply. See here, this general method can solve the problems, all the problems which we have covered in case number 1 to 6. Though I will suggest you that if the function falls under the cases 1 to 6, so apply those special cases, because those are the shortcut method, right? As compared to general method, they are easy to apply, easy to implement, right? So we will solve only those problems which cannot be solvable by case number 1 to 6. Okay, so therefore as we have obtained particular integral here, so we can write a general solution as per our procedure. So in this way we get a general solution. Now let's see one more example. So again, right hand side function is this. So for this we cannot apply case number 1 to 6. Okay, now see here, one can have a thought that I can write this e raised to power minus 3x upon x cube like this, e raised to power minus 3x into x to the power minus 3. So one can see that it is product of two functions, out of which one is exponential. So one may think to apply the case number 4. So be careful, case number 4 is not applicable, because here the function other than exponential is not of the form x raised to n. Why? Because if we take the function as x raised to n, so this n must be a positive integer. It should not be other than that, right? So though you can put this in the form x raised to n, but we do not find this n as a positive integer. So that's why case number 4 is not applicable. So this is the problem only solvable by a general method. So this one has to remember, right? Okay, so let's see again the complementary function. We know very well. Now let's see the particular integration evaluation. So we are going to apply general method. So we need to factorize this first. So as the roots are m equal to minus 3, so what we will have? So we will have the factors as, this gives us factors as m minus of minus 3 means m plus 3, and another factor will also be m plus 3 equal to 0, just replacing m by d. So we have d plus 3 into d plus 3 equal to 0, right? So therefore factors is this. Now one may think of writing this d plus 3 into d plus 3 as d plus 3 whole square. So it should not be done. Why? Because we want the factors of this completely in a real form. So don't write it at real and repeated. Okay, you write d plus 3 into d plus 3 only. Okay, so the terms are factorized. Now let's operate one by one, as both of them are same. So it's immaterial which one is to be applied first, right? Otherwise also we can apply any factor first, and then the whatever result obtained on that function, the remaining operator must be applied. So let's see how to apply. So here again I am applying d plus 3 over here, 1 upon d plus 3. So make use of that standard formula. So 1 upon d plus m, the value of m is 3. So accordingly write down the formula. So we have e raised to power minus 3x integration of e power plus 3x, and the function on which this 1 upon d plus m is getting operated. So function is here e raised to power minus 3x upon x cube. Simplify. So here according to law of indices, these index will get added. So 3x plus minus 3x will be 0, and e raised to power 0 is 1, right? So what we are left with 1 upon x cube. Now integration of 1 upon x cube, which formula we will apply here? So here we will apply the formula integration of 1 upon x cube, right? This is nothing but can be written as x to the power minus 3. So just apply the formula x to the power n. So according to the x to the power n formula, what it will be? X to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1, right? So what we shall get? We shall get minus 1 by 2. This is x to the power minus 2. We'll write that in the denominator. So we have minus 1 upon 2x square. That is what I have written here. Okay, so integrate the operation of 1 upon d plus 2 is over. Now 1 upon d plus 3 is also left. Let's operate this on this complete function by making use of same set of formulae. So applying this on this resultant function, so we have e power minus 3x integration of e power 3x and this entire function. Again, by law of indices, e raised to power 3x into e raised to power minus 3x is e raised to power 3x minus 3x, that is e raised to power 0. E raised to power 0 is 1. So we are left with simply minus 1 by 2x square. Again, apply the same formula, same process. What will be integration of 1 by x square? So integration of 1 by x square will be nothing but, so we can write it as x to the power minus 2, that is equal to, by the formula, x to the power minus 2 plus 1 upon minus 2 plus 1. So that is nothing but minus 1 by x. Already there is minus sign, so minus minus plus and 1 by 2 as it is. So what we are having? 1 by 2x as a simplification of this part. So particular integral is obtained. Now we can write the required general solution in this way. So far the two problems which we have solved, there we have applied each factor one by one without separating the linear factor using partial fraction. So let's see the next example where we will separate the linear factors using partial fraction. So complementary functions are obtained. Now particular integral. So first of all we will factorize this. So we know very well what will be the factors of this. So the roots of auxiliary equations are m equal to plus I and m equal to minus I. So therefore factors will be m minus I and m minus of minus I means m plus I equal to 0, replacing d by m by d. So d minus I and d plus I, right, is equal to 0. Therefore factors of d square plus 1 will be d plus I into d minus I. Now it is factorized. What we will do, in the earlier example we used to apply these each linear factors one by one on this function. Right now what we will do, we will separate these two linear factors first by making use of partial fraction. So what we get, we know very well how to apply partial fraction. So as the factors are linear, okay, so what we will have, so you can see as the factors are linear, okay, so 1 upon d plus I into d minus I, and they are distinct. Okay, so we can write the partial fractions as 1 a upon d plus I plus b upon d minus I, and then putting one by one, putting d is equal to minus I, you will get the value of a, and then putting d equal to plus I, you will get the value of b, right? So in this way this process is known to you. So this type of process need to be applied here. You will get the partial fraction in this way. You will get the value of a as minus 1 by 2i and the value of b as nothing but 1 by 2i by partial fraction, right? Okay, so this is done. What we will do now, multiplying by this function on each linear factors. So we have 1 upon d minus I operating on cosec x and 1 upon d plus I operating on cosec x. So let's operate these two factors according to the formula. Let's consider first one, 1 upon d minus I cosec x. So according to formula it is e raised to power value of m is what? 1 I, right? So e raised to power ix integration of e power, here it should be minus ix. Okay, operating on function that is cosec x. Now e raised to power minus ix, according to formula it is cos x minus I sin x. Okay, that we will write for simplifying this integral. Now next what we will do, cosec x is nothing but 1 by sin x. Okay, cosec x is 1 by sin x. So multiplying each term of the bracket with this 1 by sin x. So what we will have? We will have cos x upon sin x, which is nothing but cot x. And then sin x will get cancelled. So we are left with minus I only. So in this way, the simplification is done. Now let's integrate. What is the integration of cot x? So that is nothing but log of sin x. Minus I constant as it is, and integration of 1 is x. In this way, we have 1 upon d minus I operating on cosec x. Similarly, we need to apply the 1 upon d plus I operating on cosec x. So it is on the same line. Only thing is just replacing I by minus I. We will get e raised to power minus ix log of sin x plus ix. So using this equation 2 and 3 in equation 1, we will get the particular integral in this way, in this manner. Now if you wish, you can collect the common term. What are the common term? So we will take log of sin x common. Now what is left? E raised to power ix minus e raised to power minus ix upon 2i. Similarly, we can take minus ix common. So if I will take minus ix common, what is left? E raised to power ix upon 2i, and then plus e raised to power minus ix upon 2i. Now look at this term inside the bracket. So these are nothing but the standard formulas of the sine and cosine, hyperbolic sine and cosine functions, right? So we can have further this as, this is nothing but sin x, right? The formula of sin x, whereas here I will get cancelled. So we have this as cos x, right? So recall what are the formula of sin x and cos x. So sin x is nothing but, or I'll better write it in terms of theta. So sin theta is nothing but e raised to power I theta minus e raised to power minus I theta upon 2i. This is the trigonometric sine function, right? And trigonometric cosine function is e raised to power I theta plus e raised to power minus I theta upon 2. In this way, just making use of this formula, you will get the desired result. So this is the particular integral. Obviously, don't forget to write the general solution. So that is given by y is equal to complementary function plus particular integral, substituting complementary function and particular integral. So I hope the general method is clear to you all. You have both the choices, either factorize the linear factors, separate them by using partial fraction, which we have done in the third example, or you can don't separate the linear factors, operate each factors on the function one by one. Okay, so these are the two choices. So I hope the method is clear to you all. In the next video lecture, we shall discuss the next method, that is method of variation of parameter. So till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you all for watching the video.